Right then, Manchester derby this weekend, and a lot has happened since the last time we played Manchester City. And actually, the expectation levels, despite the absolute drumming that we got the last time we played Manchester City, have risen. United are in pretty good form. And I think there's an expectation that we at least try to beat Manchester City this week.
At least be competitive.
Yes.
That's the key thing in it. And obviously, there's a few ways that United can do that, a few things that have changed. You're going to take us through them. We're going to get some screenshots on the screen. And we're basically going to find out how to beat Manchester City and how United have improved.
I hate this, but the best example, and actually the only example we can give you, because Liverpool shit the bed, the only example that we can give you of a team that's actually managed to put United on the back foot, certainly at home, where they've dominated possession and we've still created chances and won the game, is actually Arsenal. They had 6% possession, United won the game 3-1. So this is a game for us to look at. This is a game for us to find. What was the keys to victory for this? This was a team that obviously wanted. And let's be honest, you've got Arteta, you've got Ten Hag, you've got all these people that have worked underneath or alongside Pep Guardiola. There's a lot that we can learn, I think, from this game. So one of the biggest things for us is going to be how we transition, because they're going to have most of the ball. When we get the ball, what do we do with it? Now, here's an example that we've got. This is a pass from Christian Eriksen. I think him and Casemiro are going to be very, very important for us. This is Eriksen on the ball here. We're going to be looking at how he manages to break the lines with this pass. So you've got to be quick, you've got to be accurate, and you've got to be able, you can see how high up the pitch the Arsenal side are. That means the space is that way, which means you've got to get the ball going that way with some speed. Yeah,
and it's one of the few teams that will press that high at Old Trafford as well, isn't it? Like City. I know, like you said, it pains me to say it, but Arsenal are top of the league this season, so you can't say they've not been good.
And they do beat them though.
Man United, and they do play that high pressing, high possession system like City. So yeah, Eriksen, this is where he really first showed his quality, I think, for United in a big way in a big game, didn't he?
Yep, so in this one then, as we can see, this is the ball obviously advanced a lot further forward. We've moved the ball up the pitch with pace, obviously coming from all the way back, just on the edge of our third, right onto the edge of the opponent's third. And what I want you to have a look at in this one is the three-prong attack. The fact that you've got, I think it's Sancho on that side, you've got Marcus down the centre, and then you've got Antony on the right-hand side. And you've got three players holding their width. You've not all narrowed into one channel. They're making it difficult for a back four to cover them. Someone's going to have to go 1v1, and going 1v1 as a defender with this amount of space, that's hard work. You always want to be trying to be +1.
Definitely, especially if they want to be pushing a full-back up on one side. As you can see there now, it's not even a 4v3, it's a 3v3. And once you keep that width, they can't cover every single gap going on there. And as we go forward, obviously we'll see that United exposed that. You can see that this Antony hugging the touchline here. This is what Ten Hag does. And I think even Antony, who's had a bit of stick this season, is doing the thing that Ten Hag is telling him to do, which is keep the position. If nothing else, even if your passing's deserting you, you haven't got a right foot, if you stay in the right spot, we'll still make chances for you.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal are not necessarily doing the wrong thing here. I think this was Saliba that dived in and got took out of the game early, I think, from memory. And you've got Zinchenko and the rest of what's left of the back four, the three players, narrowing in and trying to make you play around them. You can play around, over or through. When you've got good angles like this, through is an option that you can use, especially when you're 1v1, as we found everybody in the back end here. But you can see the width that Antony held. Obviously, we remember the ball coming into Marcus. Zinchenko gets drawn to the ball. This is where indiscipline sometimes can help us, because he should have really stayed out here with Antony. But also, the chances of Marcus going past just one defender is also quite high. So it's understandable, but you've made him make that decision. You've left Antony out here, and then we all know what happened next.
Yeah, exactly, scoring on his debut. And that's the thing, like you said, with Marcus, I know he wasn't quite in the form he is now there, but if you see your centre-back one-on-one with Marcus Rashford, you can't help but be drawn to that ball. And that's where the tactics and the discipline that Ten Hag instills, keeping that width, means that there's going to be spaces on both sides if the players stay where they're meant to be. So, yeah, I think, obviously, the later two goals in the game against Arsenal were counter-attack goals, which United may well score against City, but typically you only get those sorts of counter-attacking chances when you're already in the lead, don't we? Which is why this goal was the important one to show, because this is how we broke through an Arsenal team that weren't chasing the game at this point.
Yeah, and it's one of my favourite traits of Manchester United, like in throughout our history, is being able to score direct goals. I don't necessarily hate possession. I don't necessarily hate that slow build-up, But these are exciting goals for me. When you can take it from being on the edge of your own third to putting the ball in the back of the net in a couple of seconds, that's what makes United for me. That's what the 99 team, the 94 team, 2008 team, all of our great teams have all had that real lethal fuck about and find out sort of element to them. So then since we played Manchester City, we've gone on a hell of a run. The only blip being that game against Villa, which if we'd have played them while Steven Gerrard was still in charge, there's a 0 there, I think, and probably a 4 there. Yeah. So we've had a hell of a run since Manchester City. The rubber is about to meet the road because I think we've got, by the last count, 400 games before February, I think. Something like that.
399, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's more games than there are days, I believe, we've got going on. It's going to be absolute carnage, and the squad is relatively thin. So we're going to really find out what this guy and this squad is capable of. But this run is real. This run is fantastic, and we've played the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool and Tottenham. We've had some excellent performances and wins in and amongst those. The big one that we have to turn over, yes, we dropped some points to the likes of Brentford, but I think there was reasons for that. This was an embarrassment. Yeah. This was the first time where I saw some people go, oh, he's just been found out. Yeah. Now he's put this incredible run together since then. This is where we now have to find out how much has he learned. And I'm not saying he has to even win this sort of thing, but it can't be 6-3 again. No.
It's almost like Luke Skywalker's gone and done his training and comes back to face Darth Vader again, and this time he can't get a paste in. It's what you were thinking, isn't it? Should we look at the screenshot?
Anyway, so one thing that I would like Manchester United to do, and Pep's very good at this, frustratingly good at this, and it's the old tactical foul, Joe. Yeah. My personal favourite is a shirt pull.
Oh, I love a shirt pull. Wayne Rooney loved a shirt pull.
Yeah, because do you know why a shirt pull? If you smash someone's ankle in this sort of position, Joe, in sort of like entering the middle third, that's a very dangerous place. Rarely are you going to see a red card. If you make it reckless, you can force the referee's hand. You can also cause a riot, especially like at our level, at Saturday League level. Like, I'm not going to tell you to smash someone because there's a very real chance of a riot. However, a shirt pull, people don't usually lose the rag too much. Rarely do you get booked. You certainly don't get sent off.
You literally cannot get sent off for it.
But it's the same result. You stopped the play, and that's it. That's or kick another ball on.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not something that you're going to see in the Premier League, but we can certainly use it. Anyway, shithousery. Yeah. Here's what we're here for. It's a derby, it's a big game, and we need some shithousery. Yeah. Now, we highlighted something Christian Eriksen was excellent at in the last game. He got run off a couple of times in this game. And people really was like, hello, what's going on with this one? Yeah. Here's a brilliant example of it. So Kevin De Bruyne starts to run off him. Yeah. As City are countering, United had a rare attack, because I don't know if you remember. There was not many, Joe.
Nope.
We had a rare attack. We ventured, as you can see, quite a lot of United players in the City half. City are on the break. It's not something that you see much with them. And there was the spot to just trip him.
You have to take him down there.
Yeah. Or even a shirt pull. He couldn't reach his shirt.
We're 3-0 down at this point, so the game's probably lost. But it's not 4-0. And any goal at this point is saving embarrassment.
In about 7 seconds it will be, Joe.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the whole point. So that's Eriksen on De Bruyne there. And he just... I wouldn't say he bottles it, because that's not the right word, but he just does the wrong thing. Yeah. He has to take him down, take the booking, do whatever you have to do.
So as we see, a couple of frames on, he's still going. This is a dangerous situation. You've got Haaland running over here. I think this is Foden down on the right-hand side. This is, you've got the numbers, but have you got the legs? Because Lindelof was not at the races in this game. He didn't have his best game. This Varane went off, didn't he?
Yeah, Varane went off.
So this is a very, very dangerous situation that you find yourselves in this one. And then obviously the ball goes left first, then comes across, and then Phil Foden sticks it in. Here's what we want to see. Yeah. Now I'm going to take you around the houses first before I tell you what.
Okay.
This fella didn't play.
Casemiro.
I'm going to circle him.
Go on, get a great circle around him. There you go.
That fella didn't play.
Yeah.
This is that pass that we saw him hit for Garnacho.
Yeah.
Unbelievable pass.
Just a 70-yard pass.
Unbelievable first touch from Garnacho. Yeah. We get a shot off, and then the play comes back the other way. And a rare... Was this the 88th minute?
88th minute, United are 1-0 up. So the game is massively in the balance. If Charlton get a goal, we're probably going to penalties.
Yeah, and they'd actually grown into it in the last 10 minutes, because I think First half, they was scared. Second half, I think the gaffer at half-time had gone, lads, it's 1-0, you're in the fight.
Yeah.
And I think as the game went on, I think they grew in confidence and they was actually looking dangerous. And you're right, 2 minutes to go, a counter-attack. Well, United have pushed a couple of men forward. Dangerous time. So, what does our friend Casemiro do? As they're on the break, just a nice little gentle body check.
Yeah.
No one's going to get too mad about it. Boy ends up on the floor. They end up with a foul, and United get to pull the entire team back into our half and defend it properly while we're not trying to chase our tails. Because if I go all the way back to while they're breaking into our half, what you'll see is a lot of United's players are facing our own goal.
Yeah.
And you can't defend it by facing it. You can only defend the goal by facing away from it. So that's what makes these sorts of attacks very, very dangerous, because as the likes of Lindelof here, I'm not digging him out, it's just that's what we're looking at. I mean, even Malacia here, if that ball's played in to Foden first time there, he doesn't know where Foden is because he's looking at that. Lindelof has to keep looking at this ball to see what's going on, and therefore he's going to lose the big freak thing off the back of him.
Because also there's a chance that De Bruyne just runs into this gap and Lindelof has to cover anyway.
Yeah.
So he can't look at everything at once. Like I said, if you're facing your own goal as a defender, you are in a suboptimal position and there's not much you can do at this point.
Yeah, the ideal scenario, you're in the position where you can see the ball and you can see your man.
Yeah.
And can any of these see the ball and the man?
No.
Not really. Eriksen maybe, but he's behind it, and that's not how you defend. So that's what you need to be doing. You need to be getting the team back and set. So, in summary, we need to transition well. We need to break the lines and get it into the final third where we have potency. And I think Marcus Rashford's going to be looked at by everyone in that stadium on Saturday. We have to defend better, and we have to have a little bit of shithousery, just a little sprinkle.
Just a little sprinkle, and that's what Casemiro brings. Someone who's won 5 Champions Leagues, I think 2 or 3 La Ligas as well.
Experience.
He's been doing those little tackles that Fernandinho almost made famous in the Premier League. He's been doing that for a decade now. He knows when to do it. I don't think he got booked for that one against Charlton. So you do it the right way, and
that's it. You don't make it violent.
Yeah.
It's just ungentlemanly, and everyone cracks on. That's why I like the shirt pull.
Yeah.
Because rarely do you see a referee go to his book for a shirt pull, even though the result is the same. It's not been violent, no one's injured. It's just frustrating for the opposition, and I think that's the best one for it to do. Just yank someone's shirt, leave them on the other side, reset, keep it a clean sheet. If we keep a clean sheet, we've done bloody well.
Yeah. Do you think we have come far enough as a sort of final point? Because obviously we can do all of these things right, and if you play City at their best, you're still probably going to lose.
No, if City turn up and put in a 10 out of 10 performance, there'll be several goals between us.
Yeah.
You've got to hope that Haaland forgets his shooting boots. You've got to hope that De Bruyne forgets his assisting boots. You've got to hope that 1 or 2 of their midfielders maybe has a little bit of an off day. You've got to go in there. United need to go in there and say, well, I'm going to outwork them. And if all 11 of us outwork them, we got a shot. I think the gap has to have been closed. And I think for Ten Hag, he has to have shown progression from that game to this, which is, he's not going to get sacked if he doesn't, and he shouldn't. But I think for his own confidence and for his status with amongst those players, if he just gets completely tactically outfought by Pep, some people might start looking at him and going, what have you actually got going on here? So this is a big game because we haven't really, and this is weird to say because Arsenal are, in my opinion, the same level as us. Arsenal's the only time that we've seen United step off the back foot and beat a team that came to us in excellent form. Manchester City, they are the favourites. The pressure should be on those. I think United fans are going into this hopeful but not expectant. And I think that if we can deliver something, I think people would probably take a draw
I'd take a draw.
Especially if you couple that with not losing against Arsenal, picking a win or a draw up against Arsenal, we've not really lost any ground. But I think if we could snatch something, the distance that puts between us and City is significant. And I think all it does is, no one's talking about us winning a title or anything this year, but next year's title starts now.
Just showing the evidence that gap is getting smaller by points and just by performances would be a massive step for Ten Hag.
Well, that's it. If we go within a point of City and we beat the guys who are top of the league, why can't we be considered Because one of them two is winning the league. I don't think there's anyone outside of those two going to win the league.
No.
It's mental if Arsenal win the league. I don't come in 8th. And that was only a little bit taking a piss out of Arsenal. I thought they'd probably finish 4th or 5th, to be honest. But if we can beat both of them, you have to be in the conversation with them, because United have become a team under Ten Hag that does, by and large, go and beat the teams we're expected to. And that's very often where title charges are won and lost. They're not necessarily won and lost against your opposition. They're how did you do against the other 16 in the league.
Nice. Right, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for taking us through that today. Man United have improved, and that's how we can beat...
Is it enough?
Yeah, that's how we can beat City if we get it right. Thank you for watching at home. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment as well. How do you think Pep can get beaten by Ten Hag? Because that's the thing, isn't it? God, fight each other. It's all about the managers. Now we've both got a board manager. It's just who can do the best tactics. It's that simple.
Ours has got like a Bonneville and Beard thing.
Yeah, he's got the little facial piece that we've got, so we like him for that. Right, thank you very much. We'll see you in a bit.